Inside Out is presented by HTC. This is life. Connect with it. And sponsored in part by Luke Rankin, Rankin and Rankin Law Firm. Experience you can trust. And by Clark Parker with Myrtle Beach CPAs, proudly serving the area for over 40 years.
Well, it sure is a hot July, isn't it? And I've got a hot Inside Out coming up for you. This month on the show, we're going to be visiting Donzelle's in Conway. You're going to meet up with a furniture maker, an illusionist, Senator Luke Rankin, a feral cat lady, and also we're going to be visiting, which we are right now, the Winburn Farms in Gallivan's Ferry. So as I shuck some corn, let's get started. Welcome to beautiful Gallivan's Ferry, where we are at the Winburn Farms. I want you to meet Hillary Winburn, and I happen to know Hillary from the Horry County Museum. She is the curator, and today's her day off, so I got to do this interview with her. This farm is beautiful, and it was recently named a Century Farm about a year ago. And tell people what that means to you, Hillary.
Yes, so last year, or 2017, we were made a Century Farm, and that means that you have been farming the same piece of land, your family, for 100 years here in Horry County.
And you guys have been how long at it?
101.
Wow.
Now, so
tell me about the farm, because you told me that this part of the land that we're on was the original farm, and then it kept expanding.
Yes, so my great-grandfather, Carol Winburn, moved from Hartsville in 1916. He heard that Horry County had some great land that grew wonderful tobacco. So he moved his family down and bought 150 acres of what we're on now and continued buying up until the home place, our family farm, was 300 acres.
And since then, who's farming?
So Carol had 8 children. 4 boys and 4 girls. 2 of the boys stayed on the family farm and continued to farm with their father. The rest either started their own farms in Horry County or married into other farming families. It was my grandfather, Gene Winburn, and his brother, Johnny Winburn, that stayed on the family farm. And then now their children are farming.
Now, did Johnny and Gene farm tobacco up until that point?
Yes, we were a tobacco farm. We had tobacco, cows, corn, and hogs. But up until 2005, we no longer grew tobacco and got into peanuts, and recently started growing cotton.
I remember interviewing your uncle several years ago, and he's more the cow guy, right?
Yes, cows and produce, Glenn, yes.
So what about your dad? What does he farm?
So my dad, he likes to be on a tractor. He's always out in the field. He plants the corn and the cotton and soybeans and those row crops.
Now, I've been to the farmers market that y'all have in Aner, and it's always the freshest and the best produce. What's there now?
Yes, so Winburn's Produce is out in Aner, and it's that opening season now for produce, and sweet corn is coming in. So Daddy's in the field picking sweet corn right now.
Tell me about history. You've always been intrigued with history, which is why you're the curator at the Horry County Museum. And in doing the research on this Century Farm, what are some of the things, Hillary, that you found out about your family, your ancestry, and the farm that you didn't know before?
Well, I came across working with the county on the Century Farms, and I'm like, hey, I think we've been here quite a while. I'm going to look into this. So I did my research and found the South Carolina History Farm Project, which is a wonderful project. And what they needed were documentation that your land had been in your family for 100 years. So you had to have your deeds. So I had to go to the Register of Deeds and get all that together and put into my application packet. But I really didn't realize that it was so much land that he bought at one time when he got here, and that he continued to buy, and what he grew on there. I always kind of figured, it was just a tobacco farm. I didn't realize that great-granddaddy had cows and hogs too then.
And I would guess, since you're so into history, Hillary, that you probably have done some research. So you said that the family farms kind of began in Hartsville, South Carolina, but what happened before Hartsville?
Yes, so I really got in. It was a 15-year stretch doing my family research because I knew we came from Hartsville, and I'm like, well, after that, where was that? Where was that? But we originally came from Dorset, England, and came to America in 1634. So we've been here a while.
So tell me a little bit more about what it was like growing up on the farm. So many people today wish they could, but they didn't. Mm-hmm. What was it like?
So growing up on our family farm here was, I'm truly blessed. I couldn't have asked for a better life. I'm an only child, but I have 100 brothers and sisters and cousins. We all are very close. We were close when we were children. We're still close today. We spent most of our summers in a tobacco field, and probably if you'd interviewed me at 13, I probably wouldn't have been so nostalgic, I guess, about it. But
did you ever help on the tobacco farm?
Yes.
Because that's hard work.
Yes. Me and my cousins, that was our summer. We spent all of our summer in tobacco barn, at the tobacco barn, in the tobacco fields, no going to the rivers, and we're like, Daddy, why can't we just get off early and go? But work was done. It was a lot of hard work, but a lot of good food too, growing up here on the farm, and a lot of love.
But you're an only child, and I guess there's some pressure in that, Hillary, to keep this farm going.
Absolutely. I'm an only child, but I have lots of cousins that are still farming. The new generation is up and coming, and we have a new generation being born in right now.
So you won't have to do it, and you can stay at the Horry County Museum.
Yes, our newest addition is Banks Winburn. And he's 2 years old.
I love the name. So with Banks just being born, what do you think's the future of the farm?
I hope it's a bright one. Farming is a hard life and very unpredictable, but hopefully, God willing, that we'll continue on for generations to come.
And Rolo agrees with that, your dog over there. Did you hear him
Yes.
barking? Yeah, he thinks he wants the farm to continue.
Absolutely.
We're beneath some beautiful pecan trees, and so do you do anything with the pecans?
No, these are just for me in my yard to make pecan pies in the fall.
Here we go. Now, this is the pecan story.
Yes.
Yeah. I always heard a pecan was what you put under your bed at night, whereas a pecan was what you eat. Now, I learned that at Francis Marion University, so go figure, friends.
Yeah.
But you're the one with the tree, so if you say pecan, I'm with you.
Hey, whatever, tomato, pecan.
You just let them fall? You don't really make pies or anything?
I know, I'll just come out here and pick them myself. And we have some more that my granddaddy planted years ago back on the farm, and they're just for ourselves.
So this is the home you grew up in, and it's now yours, and it's got to be really special to know that you grew up here, you have roots, and all your family's nearby.
Yes, all of my family, my aunts, uncles, cousins are just a stone throw in any direction.
Tell me a little bit more about your job at the Horry County Museum, Hillary.
So yeah, it was, right place, right time, I don't know, but it's the perfect job for me. I'm the curator at the Horry County Museum and the L.W. Paul Living History Farm, and being at the farm is amazing because that's a piece of my heart. That's how I grew up.
And what sort of projects are you working on now before the end of the summer? What can we see at the Horry County Museum?
Well, we've got a lot of summer camps going on right now, and got new exhibits in. We've worked with Coastal Carolina students on 2 new exhibits that'll be throughout the year, so you definitely want to come and check that out.
So as we wrap up, let's remind everybody exactly where Winburn Produce is so they can go and stock up.
Yes, so Winburn's Produce is located in Aner on Fry Road across from Aner Middle School.
And I think that's where we're going to go right now and stock up on some corn, put it up in the freezer, as they say, and I'll have corn from Winburn Farms all winter long. Thank you, Hillary.
Thank you.
Best wishes, a century farm for Horry County. Up next on Inside Out, meet Senator Luke Rankin.
No matter where the day takes me, HTC provides the high-speed internet services I need. HTC delivers faster speeds, 24/7 local tech support, and free in-home Wi-Fi right here to Horry and Georgetown counties. As trusted community members serving up world-class internet service, I know HTC will keep my family connected to what matters most. Because you are here, and so are we.
High-speed internet starting at 100 megabits per second. Call today.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
Obviously, with this beautiful river behind us, the Waccamaw River, we are in Conway today with this man who grew up here, Senator Luke Rankin. But he lives in Myrtle Beach now, and he is my neighbor. And so, Luke, what was it like growing up in Conway many moons ago? What are some of the things you miss?
Well, this river certainly, like the ocean is to so many tourists, this river was what drew kids to come play. We would jump off the trestle down here as kids. I don't know that our parents actually knew we were doing it, just past the Presbyterian church. We biked the streets. There was a drugstore across from another drugstore. It was called Ori's Drugs. There was a bakery on the corner. You'd go from one place to the other. And we'd climb the church steeple, First Baptist Church steeple. My preacher, George Lovell, did not like us doing that. We did it just enough times to get caught. But a great town, a wonderful place to live, lots and lots of great memories here.
How did your family, how did the Rankins get to Horry County?
So my father was born and raised in Allsbrook, which is just outside of Loris, up 701 from Conway. And he obviously wanted to be close to his mother. That's why he grew up here. You've heard that line before.
Yeah,
perhaps,
and that's probably why you didn't leave here either.
Exactly,
you wanted to be close to your wonderful
my mother.
mom.
Yeah, but so Conway became the place for Daddy when fortunately he decided he did not want to be a farmer, wanted to be a lawyer, and got out of law school and came here and set up shop. It was the county seat. Courthouse was close by, and way back he set up practice here. But I think the feeling of home, the community here, people really embraced him, though not a real outsider coming from Allsbrook, but a real sense of home and community. And obviously my mother loved it, and they loved it, and made our home here.
There's no doubt that the people of Conway loved your parents. Now, did you always want to be a lawyer? I mean, did you want to follow in your dad's footsteps, or were you the kind of kid who said, I'm never doing this?
Well, more the former. I would follow Daddy around. He was a coffee guy before church, or if he'd go to the beach on Saturdays, he'd always go to some coffee place. And I always enjoyed the interaction with people. And so it was always kind of a feeling of following in his footsteps, honoring his profession, honoring his path. I grew up hearing people say of Daddy, he could have been elected to any position he wanted to, but didn't ever choose to run. So I scratched the itch, I think, that he had both professionally and politically, and I've been blessed because of it.
Tell me about your practice, Luke, the types of things that you deal with on a daily basis.
We do mostly the bad things, death-related, accident, bad injuries, drunk drivers that have been overserved at a restaurant or bar, a drunk driver that hits them, motorcycle collisions, really some of the bad stuff that we try to help families put their lives back together as best we can. And that's been my career path, and so far so good. It's been a great path. We've helped lots of people, been blessed with good results both in verdicts at trials and settlements on behalf of injured folks and their families.
Tell me a little bit about your political career. I remember when you first ran, you were kind of like, I don't know whether I want to do this, but you knew that you would always do the right thing. And I think that's why people vote for you time and time again. They do know that you'll do the right thing.
Well, I've been blessed as well in the political walk. I can't make everybody happy, and I know that. I've had certain folks that have never sided with me, which is fine. They don't have to side with me. But the mantra I think that my father had in business and in life is really do the right thing, because you got one reputation, one family, and being from here, having not just my immediate family, but my father was one of 5 children. Folks know the Rankins, or knew the Rankins when they were all alive and well. And so I never really wanted to, again, besmirch their name and their reputation. And likewise for my kids. Again, you may not like what I do, you may not like the decisions that I make, but I feel good about it such that I can sleep well at night. And there's some peace about that. So it's been a fun but long, but incredibly fast walk in this political realm as well. This county has changed so much, it's grown so much, this town has grown so much, with so many people discovering this great little secret we call Horry County.
But you know, you are still walking the path, and I would imagine you're going to be running again in 2020.
Yep, I plan to, the Lord willing, and my wife or the creek don't rise to take me out. But yeah, I do enjoy serving. I've gotten to a position of leadership in the Senate. I chair a committee now that has a lot of responsibility, takes a lot more time, but I'm able to direct certain things to get passage and have a more a say in the influence in the direction that we as a state and for Horry County go. And so that's been an affirming long wait in coming, but it's really a challenging but rewarding experience and walk.
Tell me about the committee. What committee is it?
It is Judiciary Committee. And so there are two big ones in the Senate as well as in the House, Finance and Judiciary in the Senate. Those are the two committees that get the majority of the work. And so a lot of responsibility, but it's still fun.
But there's a little bit of a break now. You're out for the summer and enjoying family. Let's brag on the family.
Well, not hard to do. They are both accomplished kids and a great wife, Lindsay, who is likewise well known in the community.
Absolutely.
More and more recognized as the go-to person for the odd question about an animal, be it
Animal
dog,
activism. She's queen of animal activism.
but in a healthy, not crazy way.
You're
And
right.
There's
You're
a
right.
difference there. She is like you say in the political realm of doing the right thing for animals. We'll get calls, she will, from folks who in the neighborhood, they had a bird that was injured. What do they do? I mean, it is a strange Dr. Dolittle
Snakes,
like.
ducks, turtles. Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I've seen her in action.
And you're in that loop as well.
Yeah,
so,
I'm almost as crazy about animals as Lindsay,
yeah.
for sure.
We've had a great marriage, 8 years last May it was, and Luke is 21. He is a rising senior. He was elected to the student body president's
Yes.
run at USC, a big deal that, wow, where did this chutzpah come from?
Duh, from you.
And then Hollings is a graduating senior from the governor's school in Greenville. 2 years there, kind of charting her own path.
An incredible writer.
Incredible writer. She's finished and she's going to college in end of August, to Emerson College in Boston, Massachusetts.
It's going to be wonderful.
Anyway, so both kids are doing well, and it's a beautiful thing to see them thrive and succeed.
And
So.
flourish in a great big way. Finally, we're so grateful to have you as a sponsor of this show, and I want everyone to know that when we were looking for sponsors for Inside Out, Luke says, if it's great for the community, I'm all in. And I love that line, and you really believe that you want to do good things for the community, and you're doing that with the sponsorship here with Inside Out, and we thank you.
Well, I'm glad to be a sponsor to this. My mother, as you know, died April 1st. My father was 15 days and 5 years before her. And so the term legacy has been heavy and more in the fore for me. And so you, in this legacy of promoting this community, continue to shine. And so
Thank you, Luke.
the Rankins need to shine as well. Our kids now have that opportunity as we mature out, 57. So anyway, you and Chuck and the program have long recognized and heralded the great things of this community, and so I'm glad to be a part of it.
Glad to have you be a part of it. 57, he looks like he's 30. Look at that baby face. This is Senator Luke Rankin, a dear friend of mine and a dear friend to this community. Thanks, Luke.
Thank you. Enjoyed it.
Get ready for some magic and illusion from Charles Bach of Wonders Theater in Myrtle Beach.
Hi, I'm Wanda Howard, and I've known Clark Parker for a long time. Clark has been my CPA for the original Benjamin since 2006. He has proven himself to be knowledgeable, dependable, and available. I consider him to be an integral part of my business success. I even trust Clark for my personal estate planning. Small problems or large, Clark can help you navigate through them successfully.
Clark Parker and Myrtle Beach CPAs, proudly serving the area for over 40 years.
This month's video features the U.S. Army Golden Knights parachute team. Boy, were they ever good. Take a look at this year's Sun Fun Festival. Friends, we're in Myrtle Beach today at the IMAX Theater. You remember that big, beautiful facility? Well, it's now Wonders. A great show here. I saw it the other night. It's Charles Bach. He's an illusionist and a magician, a dancer. He is awesome. You're going to love the show. And Charles, first of all, how did you get into magic?
Well, it was because my uncle showed me a card trick. That was all it took to get me excited. I read all the magic books in the library. I learned tricks after that, and then I started doing shows.
Now, did your parents ever say, get a real job along the way?
Most definitely. They wanted me to have a real job and not do all these crazy things, but it's the only thing I knew. And I did get a degree in theater and dance, and it paid off.
Well, the dance paid off because in the show, you do a little bit of dancing with your two female cohorts, and y'all are wonderful. And you danced for Joffrey. That's big time.
I was a ballet dancer. I wore tights and everything. It was a lot of fun.
Maybe you should wear tights on stage. The women may really want to. No. Okay. Now, you've been on all sorts of national shows, even Penn Teller.
Yes, I was on Penn Teller. It was probably the most fun performing experience, but it really was a live performance. You only get one shot, and you perform right in front of them, and one chance to fool them.
And they loved you.
They were great. They were really great. It was a lot of fun.
One thing I loved so much about your show was the way you truly cater to kids. And of course, you have a son, so I can tell you are great with children. But you got all the kids involved. You brought them up on stage. You really make the family a part of the show.
That's exactly why I do it. I want a magical experience, more than just a magic show where I'm just showing off doing tricks. I want you to have participation. I want you to be part of the experience and share it.
What do you think is your most difficult of your tricks here on stage?
Well, some of the things that I do in the show involve a combination of movement with props and with the handling of all the things, and that's the challenge, is to make everything flow smoothly together. Adding all the dance elements really, wears you out a little bit, so it makes it more challenging to try to do it together.
Charles, I was amazed. I mean, both my husband and I were in the audience with our moms, and we all became part of the show, and there were different things that you did that just blew me away. The sock skit was really out there. I mean, I couldn't even imagine how it was working.
That's great. So I come up with crazy ideas. I draw them on paper, and then I come up with the routine, and then I figure out how I'm going to make it work, and then it becomes part of the show.
I think it's awesome, though, that you're traveling with your wife and your son. I mean, they're both here this summer, and Magdalena helps you in the lobby. I mean, you guys are a team.
Heck yeah. They are definitely the biggest part of the team. They make the magic happen, really.
Is there any chance that we could keep you here? I know that the show is going on through the end of August, but boy, it'd be wonderful to have an illusionist and a magician move into town.
So we came here to see how it goes in Myrtle Beach. We love the town, we love the people, and we love the theater we've been able to put together. And it would be great to continue long term. I know I have to go on a cruise ship when I finish this. So if you want to come to see me, it's going to cost $10,000 to go on a cruise.
Oh, so we're better off
it's better to
coming
come
here.
this summer and see the show here.
For sure,
Yes.
for sure. And I know that you have group rates and reasonable rates for kids because
Yes.
you really want families to come.
Absolutely, that's what it's about. We have definitely discounts for seniors, discounts for veterans. There's plenty of opportunities to make it worthwhile to come see the show.
You've incorporated puppets into the show. I mean, you've got just about everything. Well, I know you have several marketing pieces, and we're going to show a little snippet right now of some of Charles's magic. But when we come back, I'm going to make sure he does something right here before my very eyes. Take a look. Really incredible, right here at the old IMAX Theater at Broadway at the Beach. How many shows a day do you have?
So we have 8 shows a week. We do shows Monday through Saturday at 7 p.m. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, we have a matinee show at 4 o'clock. So it's a chance, if you want to come early, you'll get a chance to see the matinee.
Well, I want to call your son Benji in here. Benji, come on in. I asked Benji the other day if he wanted to be a magician, and you know what he told me? He wanted to be a pilot. So maybe he's had enough magic. But Benji, I want you to help me. I want to ask your dad to do a little card trick right here. I mean, we are so close, I can touch him. And I want to see if I can see what he's doing, because he really is amazing, isn't he? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Okay, let's
Dad.
do a little magic. Let's do a little magic. I'm gonna stand up right here because I got a little pad of paper right here. And we're gonna do a little card trick.
Okay.
A little card trick. So I want you to have a card in your mind. You've got a card in your mind. Don't tell me what it is. I don't want to know.
Can I tell Benji?
Keep it to yourself for right now.
Okay.
I want you to be the only one in the world that knows that card.
Okay.
And I'm gonna show you right here. I made a little prediction of the card in your mind right here. Here it is, folks. This is a drawing of your imagination. Is that pretty accurate?
No, my imagination looks much better than that.
Well, believe it or not, those are all the ideas floating around in your mind, like little thought bubbles. You've got lots of thoughts, lots of ideas up there.
Oh, yeah.
We need to narrow those down from many thoughts and ideas to just one single thought in your mind. Now, you have that card in your mind. I want to make it clear to everybody in the viewing audience, and even Benji, you can write it right here at the white space right below the drawing, but don't show me. Just put the number and draw the suit next to it so they can all see it. Now show it to the camera. Let them all see what it is right there. Excellent, excellent. You can show. Oh, I got a good look at it. Thank you very much.
No,
we're going to do a
didn't.
little something right here. It's okay. It's the 8 of diamonds. Out of all the cards in the deck, that's the one in your mind.
Yep.
This is pretty cool. We're going to try a little something here. That is weird. Really strange. Hey,
What?
quickly point to the heavier of the two objects. No, that's the lighter.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
All right,
Comedy.
keep your eyes right here on the picture. Watch.
No way.
Oh, yeah. Your imagination, the exact card in your mind.
I hate this. What do you think? I feel so stupid. Do you feel stupid?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. Well, I do. And it's just simply amazing. You guys are going to love Charles Bach, The show is Wonders,
A magical experience.
and we want everyone to come see it. He's here till the end of August, and most importantly, we want them to love it so much, and we want the theater to be so successful that Charles and Magdalena and Benji move to the Myrtle Beach area. Maybe we can count on it.
Yes,
Hope
indeed.
so. Hope so.
Yay.
Thank you, Charles.
Thank you,
Good luck
Diane.
with the show, and Benji, good luck being a pilot someday. Thanks, Charles. Great food and great folks. We're going to Donzelle's of Conway right after this break.
Honey, I think I'll adjust the thermostat. It's getting a little cool.
Mom, you don't have to get up to do that. I've installed the HTC Connected Home app on your phone. See, you can adjust the temperature from anywhere. Okay, Mom, I've got to go. Thanks for house sitting. Make sure to lock the door and set the alarm.
No problem. I have everything I need right here.
HTC self-install kit, $0 with 36-month monitoring commitment.
HTC, this is life. Connect with it.
This segment of Inside Out is brought to you by Clark Parker with Myrtle Beach CPAs, proudly serving the area for over 40 years.
We're in Conway today at the famous restaurant known as Donzelle's. Some people say Donzelle's, and Marley will tell you a little bit more about some of the other things it's been called. But the restaurant's been here since 1962, family owned and operated, and wonderful, wonderful food. But then again, you probably know that. And Marley Crotch, you're one of the new owners here now. Tell us that story, how that all came to pass.
Yes, ma'am, I am. Luckily, it was time for my uncle to retire, and it is actually time for my father to retire. I wish he would slow down a little bit, but we made a decision at the end of last year that Uncle Russell was going to retire and I was going to sort of take his place, which are big shoes to fill, definitely. But yes, ma'am, I am now third generation in the restaurant.
But you've been here since a little tot.
Yes, ma'am, I have. My mom and dad would bring me in after school and they would sit me on the freezer back there, and Teresa, one of our waitresses that's still with us, she would fix my hair and make sure everything was okay for me to go to school. And after that, I was waiting tables. If I could hold a tray, I was waiting tables. It was great fun, great memories.
I actually have a picture of your dad and you many, many moons ago. It's a precious picture, isn't it?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, it is. It is.
But you learned from the best, Marley, because the restaurant is named after your grandmother,
Yes,
who was Donzelle. Mm-hmm. Tell us, first of all, how people mispronounce this name, and then let's brag on Grandma.
Oh, I can do a lot of bragging on Grandma. The most ironic name is Donzelle's. And I'm like, no, it's not Italian. I've heard, Donzelle's. It's all basically where they're from.
And as long as they come in, you're happy.
Absolutely. I don't care how they pronounce the name. As long as they come in, we're happy with that.
But everyone knew your grandmother because
Yes,
in
ma'am.
1962, when she opened this, she wasn't new to the food business at that point. She'd worked a lot of places.
Yes, ma'am. She actually started her food service career at Platt's Pharmacy as a soda jerk. After that, she was at the concession stand at the A&P Grocery downtown Conway. And then not long after that, her and her first husband purchased the sandwich shop down on 4th Avenue in Conway. And unfortunately, he passed away a couple months before their first child was born. And then after that, she met my grandfather, Willard, or Dick Dickerson, in 1952, and they got married. But she's very well known in the community, and still people rant and rave about her. And I could go on for hours and days. Just
Always a smile and great food that she prepared. And the recipes are still hers.
The recipes are hers, but there are no recipes. Nothing is written down. It's all up in here. And Dad says it's all about the taste. You got to stick your finger in it, and it's all about the taste.
Now, you guys have also gotten into catering.
Yes, ma'am.
In a big way.
We do, yes, ma'am. My husband and I actually catered 50th wedding anniversary this past weekend. And my brother also helped cater a wedding rehearsal party this past weekend. So we are very, very busy when it comes to wedding season, and not just weddings, but high school reunions. We do, unfortunately, when people pass away, we'll cook chicken for the family. Any type of event, we'll do it all.
You mentioned chicken, and of course, every single time I'm in here, I always order the fried chicken because it's so wonderful. What makes your chicken so delicious? Come on, you can tell me. It's smaller than most chicken.
A lot of love goes into it. We put we do it with a brine, and it really is just self-rising flour, salt and pepper, and an egg wash.
But I've noticed the chicken's just a little bit smaller. I'm wondering if that makes it more tender too.
Yes, ma'am.
Younger chicken.
Yes, ma'am. And we actually cut our chickens. We receive our chickens from Carolina Fresh. They're whole chickens, and Dad every Monday, Wednesday, and sometimes on Friday, he cuts the chickens up himself. So about anywhere between 38 to 40 chickens. He's there. But he's got it under control. He's done it a couple of times.
He's not plucking the chickens. He's just preparing the chickens. We're going into the kitchen to see what Larry's up to.
Absolutely. First, he's gonna take the sweet onion and he's going to put it in the egg wash, which is a mixture of eggs and milk. And then he is going to bread them in the dry mixture, which is flour with a little bit of salt and pepper. And then you double bread them to make them extra crispy and extra good. But once we have them double breaded, we stick them in the fryer, and when they're nice and golden brown and floating, that's when you know that they're ready.
Now, I know these are not on your menu. If you're very, very special and they're not busy, maybe you'll get an onion ring like I'm going to get today. Now, your dad's got some pork over here, and I'm excited to taste this because the last time I was in here having lunch with Sid Thompson, he chewed me out because I order fried chicken all the time here, and he said that the pork is even better.
We do a roast pork that is a part of our meat and three, which we will put a cold piece of pork on the grill, and once it's hot, we top it with our homemade gravy, and it comes with a choice of 3 sides. So rice and gravy, beans, any kind of fresh vegetables that we have.
So what kind of vegetables are in season now?
Right now for our summer vegetables, which we have for you guys over here, some butter beans, some fresh butter beans. Put those over rice with a little raw onion. You're talking about good.
People love meat and three, and the price is right, Marley.
Yes, ma'am, it is. It's $8.75. You get a choice of 1 meat and 3 vegetables. We always have rice and gravy on the menu. We always have a type of greens, whether it be collards, mustard, turnips, and then a type of bean, whether it be field pea, string beans, lima beans.
And your dad, you can tell, loves being in the kitchen.
He does. He will tell you he loves to cook, and he loves to watch people eat.
So now that Larry has made us incredibly hungry, let's wrap up this interview so we can eat the food. The brag wall is pretty spectacular.
Yes, ma'am, it is. I like to call it our wall of fame, and it's got an eclectic and an array of pictures. Most importantly, at the top right is my grandmother, Donzelle, my Donzelle, and then my grandfather, Willard. You have Uncle Russell riding his Harley, which that's his passion. Dad's passion, on the other hand, is fishing. Our whole family, we do a little bit of fishing, a little bit of hunting.
But wait a minute, you are a good fisherwoman too. I saw a picture up here with you and a giant fish.
Yes, ma'am, that is my yellowfin tuna. It was actually the 3rd largest yellowfin tuna caught that season. In that week, unfortunately, I lost that title.
But
the following week, but still, it was a good fight that fish put up. But I got it in the boat, and it was phenomenal to eat.
And your brother's a hunter.
My brother is a hunter. His name is Hunter, actually. So they named him well. And so this is not only some bragging rights, but what's special about it is the patrons that came here for years for both breakfast and lunch, and at the time when we were open for dinner. Their loved ones came and brought some pictures of the family members that have passed away, like Mr. Laurie Thomas from the IGA and Mr. Wilson Webb and John from the Feed and Grain, and is special to us. And
Sure.
it means a lot to us that we're able to share that special connection with them, because this is our family.
And I know the staff is your family, and they've been here a long time. All of the staff, the waiters, the waitresses, the folks that help your dad in the kitchen, family.
Yes, ma'am. Everybody is family. You come in and we welcome you with open arms. That's the way that we were raised, and that's the way we're going to continue the business and our relationship with our, not only our employees, but our customers as well.
If you've never eaten here, friends, shame on you. You got to come to Donzelle's, whether you call it Donzelle's, Donzelle's, or Donzelle's. Just come on in. You'll love it. It's on Main Street in Conway. The exact address?
1703 North Main Street.
And your hours, Marley?
Monday through Friday, we are here at 4:30 a.m. and we close at 2 p.m.
I'm exhausted just thinking about it, but I'm ready to eat, so let's do it. Donzelle's, don't miss it. Donzelle's. Donzelle's, yes, in Conway on Main Street. Artisan and furniture maker Dick Newcomb of Georgetown is next, right here on Inside Out.
Hi, I'm Luke Rankin. Horry County is my home. I was born and raised here, and for nearly 31 years, I've been helping people. I'm an attorney. When folks need help after an accident, if they've been injured on the job or denied Social Security benefits, they call me. No screaming, no crashing cars here, just a serious offer to help. If you need legal advice or assistance, go with experience. Give me a call. Luke Rankin, Rankin & Rankin Law Firm. Experience you can trust.
Today we're going to be talking with a furniture designer. His name is Dick Newcomb, and I met him one day when I was buying shrimp at the shrimp dock in Georgetown because his shop is right next door. This is Cannon Street, right off of Front Street in Georgetown. And Dick, how long have you been making furniture?
I've been down here about 12 years now doing this.
Did you not do this before you moved here?
I worked for a very high-end kitchen cabinet company in Maine, and that's where I refined all my woodworking skills. And when I got down here, I needed something to do, so I started doing little repairs, and it's grown into what I'm doing today.
Well, I love what you're doing today. I saw some of Dick's rocking chairs, and they're the old-fashioned plantation type rocking chairs. And you said that you learned how to do this by someone coming in to do a repair.
I had a couple come in that needed so much repair work that I was asked to see if I could replicate the chairs. And over a period of time, I was able to figure out how the curves were made, how the rockers were put together, and now we're geared up to do production. We make all the parts from white oak. The backs are cypress. The assembly and the weaving are our biggest time consumers.
Well, I can see here that Guy is putting one together back here right now as we speak, and you've sanded these down and they're just ready to go. I was amazed, though, that you do the weaving, too. Sometimes furniture makers just do the furniture, let someone else do the weaving, but Dick does it all.
We had to learn that too. A gentleman from that used to do the old hammocks at the hammock shop when they did them in Pauley's originally came down and taught us how to do the weaving. And I have myself and a couple others that have learned how to do it. So when we get a bunch of chairs, I have extra help to come in. But generally I do them on my own time. But it takes about 300 feet of rope per chair. That's a lot of weaving.
This is really intriguing. I saw this wagon wheel and some iron seats, and I said, Dick, what's happening here?
Well, I have this it's an old hay rake wheel, and before I realized that hay rakes didn't have outsides, I started putting on a laminated outer side with wood. And what we're going to do is turn it into a bar top, table height, and then I have 4 tractor seats that we're going to turn into the stools. One will be John Deere green, one Alice Chalmers red. So it's going to be a unique piece for somebody, man cave or porch or something.
Sounds neat. What is the most unusual thing anyone's ever come in and asked you to do, Dick?
I don't have it here, but I had a restoration piece on an old deacon's bench that I did. I had a picture 2 legs and a stretcher. That's all I had. And the lady brought it in and wanted it restored. And I worked off the picture to give me my dimensions. And when I got it all done and delivered it, her husband just about cried, because it was his bench when he was a little kid sitting on it with his sister at about 1950s. I think that's probably my best project that I've ever done. I talk about that all the time.
But Dick, I also saw some wonderful things that you have next door. And let me explain. We have the furniture operation right here next to the shrimp dock. And then right next to Dick's place is his wife's place. Marcia has D. Nuke's Artisan Co-op. And it's fabulous in there. Where do the artists come from?
We have about 32 local artisans up and down from North Myrtle Beach to Mount Pleasant, with a few scattered elsewhere in the state with their heart and soul to the low country here. And then all my personal finished pieces that I have created are also next door.
Tell me about some of your pieces in there.
I have a chain table that I built from pieces from over at the end of St. James Street that came from the old original cradle that pulled the boats out of the water. And when it was time to retire it back in the 90s, the chain was laying on the ground and the boards were in the water. And the boards have grooves up and down them. And I got the chain and the pieces and made this great piece of Georgetown history. I also have an old pedestal, newel post table over there that I got from a person that was going to throw it away. And it was a solid chunk of cherry newel post from out of Pennsylvania. And I made a gorgeous entry little table for an art piece, or a big bouquet of flowers or whatever that could be put on it. I have an old, I recreated a reference desk that they used to have in the old libraries that had the desk part and then a little tray that you would put your textbooks on. That you don't see textbooks anymore, and you'd write your history paper or your law or whatever pieces from that. And I decided it would be a great computer desk for somebody with a real piece of conversation to it. So I have all kinds of different things. I look at something and go, that's what that's going to be. And so
You're a creator.
I make a lot of different things. And whatever comes walking through the door, if I can length, width, height in a picture, what are we going to make it out of? I'll see if I can create something for somebody.
Dick, what about the types of wood? What do you like working with the best? What's the easiest?
Well, down here, a lot of yellow pine, heart pines, cypress, mahogany if I get my hands on it, because that's beautiful. I've done 2 mahogany tables, and but the common woods are the cypress and the heart pine and the yellow pine that are down here. So.
How do the artists connect with you and Marcia and become a part of your gallery?
Well, we started with 4 or 5 of us, and word of mouth got out that we had this shop, and one artist led to another artisan, and that's how we snowballed into, or people walk in and say, hey, I do this, well, bring us something around and we'll see if we can fit it in.
So Dick, what further dreams do you have for this business and for you?
Well, my goal has always been to think about, if I had the wherewithal, to set up some sort of shop or school where I could teach kids or young people the skill of woodworking, because there's nothing out there. I do it. I get people from all over to come in and fix it. There's, where do you find somebody that can do woodworking? And I just don't have the wherewithal. So if I had that one individual that was willing to help us set up a bigger shop in a bigger area where I could come in and have 3 or 4 kids, now can't pay them unless they've sold a lot of stuff, but I'm hoping that the rocking chairs and some of my other things take off enough where we can make some money and pay it back and continue the skills that I have and pass them on, because I'm not getting any younger either, and it's going to be a lost art.
So Dick, I think that's a wonderful dream. If you're a retiree out there who wants to help Dick do just that and help kids learn the craft of woodworking or furniture making, give Dick a call. And don't miss the cute little flower power boats that he's got outside. They're adorable planters. I'm going to take one home and put some herbs in it.
There you go.
All right, and I might even invite you for dinner.
Thank you, Miss Diana. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. It's D. Nukes in Georgetown. Next is Bikini Beach Cat Rescue, saving feral cats throughout Horry and Georgetown counties.
As fellow community members, HTC knows the precious value of family time spent together. That's why HTC delivers faster speeds, 24/7 local tech support, and free Wi-Fi. No matter where the day takes me, HTC serves up the world-class high-speed internet you need to stay connected to your world. Because you are here, and so are we.
High-speed internet starting at 100 megabits per second. Call today.
HTC. This is life. Connect with it.
This segment of Inside Out is brought to you by Luke Rankin, Rankin and Rankin Law Firm. Experience you can trust.
I found the perfect nonprofit organization for a summertime interview, Bikini Beach Cat Rescue. And of course, I'm a cat lover, but so is this lady. This is Karen McGranahan, and she is the founder, the president, the do-it-all lady of this organization. And even though she has a bunch of volunteers, they all love following her. Karen, how did you get started with this organization?
Well, when I came here into Horry County, there was a feral cat colony at the end of the street, and they had kittens. And I knew if I didn't trap them and fix them, the colony would grow very rapidly, because cats down here can have up to 3 litters a year and 3 to 5 kittens. So we trapped them, got them fixed, and then I joined a couple of organizations to try and help the rescues. So the last rescue that I worked for, I was turning away between 100 and 125 cats and kittens a week, because there's no place for them to go. And so when I started asking people, I said, you know, why are you not fixing the cats? The problem was there was no low-cost spay-neuter program down here. So after a while, I couldn't talk anybody else into doing that. So I decided, you know, if I wanted to really, you know, get this off the ground, it was going to have to be up to me. So we sat on the beach for 2 months, came up with the name Bikini Beach Cat Rescue. We wanted something a little different.
It's adorable.
Thank you. And so I started out in Horry County at the Cat's Meow, and then we expanded to include Georgetown, because there are an awful lot of people out there that also need the same help. And so we got the Animal Hospital in Pawleys Island, and they've been very generous with helping us with all the spays and neuters. So we do about 1,000 a year. So we have done more than 7,000 spay neuters, and these are all low cost. So we set this program up, and we wanted to make sure that the rabies vaccination was included. So we have that at both places. They get their spay and neuter, and the rabies shot comes with it. So the animals are protected. So people think that these animals, and know that these animals have been vaccinated against having rabies, and it's safer. It's safer for the community, it's safer for the cats, and we feel this is the best way to go.
Well, there's no doubt about it that your organization is making a difference with over 7,000 cats you've already handled. However, it doesn't sound to me like either county, Horry or Georgetown counties, doing what they need to do, because if they don't chip in and help with this spay and neutering, the problem could be astronomical.
Well, we're just treading water. We had a meeting with them, and one of the biggest problems, and I mean Horry County, Georgetown now with is coming, I guess, around to doing a lot more spay neuters. They got some grants, and they got a new executive director. Horry County, on the other hand, has just been resistant for years. I've spoken at the council meetings. We put up all the information. For example, for every cat that they take in to euthanize, they could spay and neuter 2. And that's the root cause of the problem. You've got to catch the kittens and get them done. Sure. Otherwise, you're on that proverbial treadmill wheel, just like the hamsters are. So we're barely keeping our heads above water. What I'm also a little disappointed in is the fact that the county won't do this stuff. They're relying on a lot of rescues in the outside area to not only do spay and neuters. Now there's actually 2 other ones that are doing it, but they're also relying on all the rescues to pull animals, which is great. But, you know, you got to go back, what's the root source of the problem? The root source of the problem is there's too many animals. When I started, I went out to Horry County and I said, what can I do to help? And the big issue has always been cats. That was in 2003. And we're still addressing or trying to address this big issue. But unless the county steps forward, it is never going to happen.
Well, let's hope they do, and let's hope that people out there who love cats will get on their county council people and let them know that more help is needed. What about you? What sort of help can you use from the community for this organization?
Well, we're always looking for volunteers. That's the hardest thing, and I understand, but I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. We don't require a lot of time. Some of these places are looking for hours and hours. We have 1 meeting a month, 10 a year for 2 hours. Then we have like fundraisers that they can attend and help us out, or they can have they can just feed a cat colony for 1 hour a week or 1 hour a month. But we also need like veterinarians to help. One of the things that has come out recently is there's not enough veterinarians to give back to the community. I mean, we're all trying to give back to the community. And by the way, we're all volunteers. Nobody takes a salary, and of course we're spending our money doing all this to get these cats spayed and neutered.
And keeping the community safe and healthy as a result.
Correct.
That's what people need to remember, that if we had all these cats running around and there were rabies situations, then we'd all be in a mess.
Yeah, and it's been published with the ASPCA that if you take a mating pair and their offspring, in 7 years they can produce more than 2 million animals. So, the more that we can get spayed and neutered, the less cats that are on the street.
So obviously volunteers you certainly need more of.
Yes.
Even people who could help with your website and social media. And there's a lot of people who are very good at that, but maybe they don't care about being out feeding the cats.
Right.
And then also, you certainly have a big golf tournament each and every fall that you want to recruit people for.
Absolutely. The golf fundraiser, it's a lot of work beforehand, and we've got it all divvied up already. But we have a lot of fun. Once we get there, it's limited to 88 people, which means the people are golfing. They're not sitting in their golf carts. And we get really good prizes. I mean, we've gotten a boat tour out of the marina. We've gotten tickets to all of the theaters, Brook Green Gardens. We get excellent restaurant coupons. And then we have a lot of fun. So, we always are looking for golfers to come and help, because that really brings in a lot of money to us.
So how about the date of the golf tournament?
It's Sunday, October 27th. We will publish that on our website, and it starts at 1 o'clock. It's a shotgun start, but the nice thing is it's limited to 88 players, so we want people to golf and not sit around in their golf carts. And everybody has a good time.
I admire everything that you're doing, and I do hope that our county council folks in both Horry and Georgetown counties step up to the plate and do better with the feral cat population and support organizations like this with veterinarian help and monies as well.
And Karen, volunteers.
Volunteers.
Thank you.
I thank you, honey, for what you're doing, and admire all the volunteer work that the volunteers throughout our community do for animals everywhere. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Now don't forget to support our local farmers and visit a local produce stand, as I have done today at the Winburn Farms produce stand in Ainer, right across from Ainer Middle School. Have a great July. I'll see you next month with another Inside Out.
Inside Out is presented by HTC. This is Life. Connect with it. And sponsored in part by Luke Rankin, Rankin & Rankin Law Firm. Experience you can trust. And by Clark Parker with Myrtle Beach CPAs, proudly serving the area for over 40 years.